Hello, fellow aficionados. In the fascinating world of human psychology, narcissism often poses as invincibility, but it's really just a well-polished act. Picture the narcissist meticulously crafting their facade like a high-stakes game of make-believe, striving to appear flawless and untouchable. Yet beneath this glossy surface lies a truth that doesn't quite match their grandiose story. As someone navigating the stormy seas of narcissistic abuse recovery, it's crucial to cut through the smoke and mirrors and reveal the vulnerabilities lurking within these seemingly all-powerful characters. Today, let's chat about the 5 Achilles heels that plague all narcissists. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to keep up with the nuggets of wisdom I'm serving. Firstly, despite their claims of omnipotence, narcissists are haunted by a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. Their constant quest for validation is really just a desperate bid to silence this existential dread. Secondly, underneath their facade of grandeur lies a gnawing insecurity that incessantly gnashes at their self-esteem. Additionally, narcissists get caught in their own tangled web of deceit, making it impossible for them to forge genuine connections due to their empathy deficit. This isolation only adds fuel to their internal chaos, trapping them in their own self-made prison. Furthermore, their insatiable thirst for admiration makes them easy prey for manipulation, falling prey to those who feign admiration. Lastly, their delicate egos can't handle criticism or even the slightest perceived slight, leading to dramatic blow-ups. By unraveling these weaknesses, we not only understand narcissism better, but also get a peek into the human psyche. Recognizing the fragility beneath their mask brings us closer to comprehending and eventually breaking free from the cycle of abuse. Number 1. Failure to self-reflect and look inward. In the vast landscape of personal growth, self-awareness forms a vital thread in the fabric. Genuine evolution requires facing our own shortcomings, recognizing the inherent imperfections and missteps that come with being human. This inward exploration is essential, a journey towards personal growth and enlightenment. However, for the narcissist, this path of self-discovery remains out of reach, obscured by layers of delusion and denial. The hallmark of narcissism lies in its insidious ability to deflect accountability. Every misstep, every stumble along the path of life is attributed to external forces, absolving the narcissist of any culpability. In their distorted worldview, they stand as paragons of perfection, faultless beings, untarnished by the trials and tribulations that plague mere mortals. It is a narrative woven with threads of arrogance and entitlement, a tapestry of grandiosity masking a profound void within. This unwillingness to recognize one's own imperfections creates a desolate environment where personal development cannot thrive. Similar to a tree deprived of nourishment, the narcissist remains underdeveloped, with their foundation rooted in a mindset of victimization. They seek admiration and the illusion of superiority, yet their pursuit is ultimately fruitless, as they are trapped by their own self-imposed limitations. The tragedy of the narcissist lies not in their grandiosity, but in their stagnation. Bereft of the humility to learn from their missteps, they wander aimlessly through the corridors of their existence, trapped in a labyrinth of self-delusion. Growth eludes them, a distant mirage shimmering on the horizon, forever out of reach. To leave a narcissist ensnared in this psychological quagmire is to consign them to a fate of perpetual repetition. Like a broken record, they will replay the same lamentations, the same grievances ad infinitum. A decade hence, they will remain unchanged, their essence frozen in time, a monument to the folly of their hubris. Yet, amidst the bleakness of their plight, there exists a glimmer of hope. For even the most hardened narcissist is not impervious to the gentle touch of introspection. It is a journey fraught with peril, a descent into the depths of the self where shadows lurk and truths lie dormant. But for those brave enough to embark upon it, the rewards are boundless. By confronting their shortcomings, the narcissist lifts the veil of illusion that conceals their true existence. They directly encounter the inner demons that plague their psyche, bravely facing their inner darkness with resilience and determination. This process serves as a transformative crucible, a challenging experience that ultimately reshapes and strengthens the soul. Through humility, the narcissist discovers the true essence of growth. They learn to embrace their fallibility, to cherish their imperfections as sacred scars upon the canvas of their being. In the crucible of self-awareness, they emerge not as gods, but as humble pilgrims, journeying ever onward towards the light. Therefore, let us not forsake the narcissist to their destiny, but instead offer them compassion and empathy. Beneath their facade of pride lies a wounded spirit seeking healing and redemption. Although the path ahead may be challenging and demanding, it is a voyage of great significance. Through the process of self-discovery, even the most resistant heart can discover comfort and renewal. Number 2, they lack belief in working together and prefer solely to engage in competition. The narcissist, enclosed within the stronghold of their ego, stands isolated amidst life's chaos. Collaboration, fundamental for growth and advancement, remains beyond their reach as they are constrained by self-absorption. In their perspective, only their own needs and desires hold significance, making the idea of teamwork unfamiliar and unattainable. In any environment where collaboration is paramount, the narcissist is akin to a solitary figure adrift in a sea of interconnectedness. Their fixation on self precludes them from partaking in the communal endeavor of growth, leaving them stranded on the shores of stagnation. For how can one advance when their gaze is fixed solely upon themselves, blind to the myriad opportunities for mutual support and enrichment? Consider, for instance, the delicate dance of co-parenting, a realm where collaboration is not merely beneficial, but essential for the well-being of all involved. Here, the narcissist's self-centered approach wreaks havoc, poisoning the well of familial harmony with its toxic brew. Rather than embracing the shared responsibility of nurturing their offspring, the narcissist seeks only to bask in the adulation of their progeny, vying for the title of the favored parent. But this quest for validation comes at a steep cost, for the narcissist's focus on self-aggrandizement blinds them to the needs of their children. Discipline becomes a foreign concept, and boundaries and mere obstacles are to be disregarded in pursuit of their own desires. The result is a landscape littered with the wreckage of fractured relationships and wounded souls, as the children are unwittingly drawn into the vortex of their parents' narcissism. Every interaction becomes a battleground, and every exchange is a contest for supremacy. Collaboration is but a distant dream, for it requires a level of selflessness that the narcissist is incapable of mustering. Their worldview is a narrow one, constrained by the confines of their own ego, where the needs of others are but a faint echo drowned out by the clamor of their own desires. From the perspective of the narcissist, winning is everything, and they will employ any means necessary to attain it. They engage in manipulation, gaslighting, and distortion of reality to fit their narrative, portraying their co-parent as the antagonist in a self-fashioned, distorted drama. As their children observe this unfolding drama, they grapple with conflicting feelings of loyalty towards their parents and a growing awareness that something is not right. Yet, amidst the chaos, there remains a glimmer of hope. For just as the narcissist is incapable of true collaboration, so too are they incapable of true fulfillment. Their victories are hollow, their triumphs fleeting, for they are built upon a foundation of deceit and self-deception. And though they may appear to reign supreme in the eyes of the world, they are but prisoners of their own ego, trapped in a cycle of perpetual discontent. Therefore, let us resist the allure of the narcissist's ego and instead aim to establish connections based on mutual respect and empathy. Genuine growth and fulfillment emerge from collaborative efforts, where individuals unite not in solitude, but in harmony with like-minded souls sharing a common vision of a better future. Now, before we continue, fellow aficionados, for more thought-provoking discussions and insights like this, I highly encourage you to subscribe to Daily Stoic 2.0. Delve deeper into topics that promote introspection, personal growth, and philosophical wisdom. By subscribing, you'll gain access to a wealth of valuable content that can enrich your understanding of human nature, resilience, and the pursuit of wisdom. Stay connected with Daily Stoic 2. 0 to continue exploring profound insights and transformative ideas for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Number 3. They are consistently bored, and their interests quickly lose their appeal. The core of a narcissist's nature is characterized by unending dissatisfaction, a ceaseless quest for fulfillment that remains just out of reach. They resemble wanderers in a desolate desert, continuously chasing solace in fleeting mirages that disappear as swiftly as they materialize. Their passions, akin to fleeting shadows, briefly flicker and then fade away, leaving behind only a hollow echo of their presence. At the heart of this restlessness lies a fundamental disconnect from their true selves. Unlike most individuals who find fulfillment in the simple pleasures of life, the narcissist remains estranged from the wellspring of their own being. For them, satisfaction is not merely a state of abundance, but an elusive chimera that forever taunts them from the shadows. Consider, for instance, the allure of material possessions. While for many the acquisition of goods brings a fleeting sense of joy, for the narcissist it is but a hollow victory. No matter how many cars they hoard, no matter how many houses they move, the void within remains unfilled. It is as if they are attempting to pour water into a bottomless pit, their efforts doomed to failure from the outset. Their interests, too, are fleeting and ephemeral, like flames flickering in the wind. One moment they are enamored with a new hobby, only to discard it the next in search of the next fleeting thrill. Their lives resemble a whirlwind of activity, a frenetic dance of constant movement and change. Yet beneath the surface lies a profound emptiness, a void that no amount of external stimulation can hope to fill. Why do they persistently pursue novelty with such fervor? The explanation lies in the transient thrill of euphoria that accompanies every new acquisition, every new triumph. Similar to addicts in pursuit of their next high, narcissists are compelled by an unquenchable thirst for validation and admiration. Each new possession or conquest acts as a temporary remedy for their wounded ego, offering a brief reprieve from the inner void they grapple with. Yet for all their frenetic activity, the narcissist remains trapped in a prison of their own making. Their lives are devoid of meaning, devoid of purpose, as they lurch from one fleeting pleasure to the next in a desperate bid to fill the void within. And in their ceaseless pursuit of satisfaction, they leave behind a trail of broken relationships and shattered dreams, their insatiable appetite for validation leaving a wake of destruction in its path. So how can we begin to understand the weaknesses of the narcissist? It begins with a recognition of their fundamental disconnect from their true selves, a realization that beneath the facade of grandiosity lies a wounded soul yearning for redemption. By acknowledging their flaws and vulnerabilities, we can begin to unravel the tangled web of their psyche, offering them the compassion and understanding they so desperately crave. Ultimately, the path to healing commences with a decisive first step, a readiness to acknowledge and address the inner shadows while embracing the illumination of self-awareness. Together, as companions on this journey, we can initiate the process of restoration, rebuilding what has been fractured and paving the way toward a more hopeful future, anchored in empathy, compassion, and comprehension. Number 4. Their fear of embarrassment drives them to obsess over how they're perceived and their appearance in front of others. The dread of humiliation is a potent motivator that compels individuals to fixate on how they are perceived by others and their conduct in social environments. This apprehension is especially heightened in individuals exhibiting narcissistic traits, who might exhibit outward confidence and appear immune to shame, yet harbor profound shame about their authentic selves beneath the surface. This hidden shame significantly influences their behaviors and interactions with others. Narcissists are deeply insecure individuals who are constantly running away from their inner shame. Anything that threatens to expose this shame triggers a defensive reaction, often manifesting as narcissistic rage. Even seemingly innocuous remarks or comments can provoke an extreme response from a narcissist, leaving others bewildered by the sudden outburst. To manage their shame, Narcissists create intricate personas to showcase to the world. These personas portray an aura of superiority, greatness, and flawlessness, concealing the inner turmoil and insecurity they feel. Sustaining these facades demands significant effort and energy, as narcissists invest heavily in guarding their true selves from exposure or examination. Unfortunately, this relentless pursuit of maintaining their facade comes at a significant cost, often resulting in the exploitation and manipulation of their loved ones. Narcissists may use their family members as trophies to bolster their own image in the eyes of others, without regard for the emotional well-being of those they exploit. For example, a narcissistic parent may exploit their children or spouse to enhance their own public image, using them as props to garner admiration and validation from others. The psychological impact of being objectified in this manner can be profound, causing lasting harm to the individuals involved. Ultimately, the cycle of shame and facade maintenance perpetuated by narcissists leads to a breakdown in genuine human connection and empathy. By prioritizing their own image over the well-being of others, narcissists sacrifice meaningful relationships and perpetuate a cycle of emotional manipulation and abuse. The fear of embarrassment and deep-seated shame felt by narcissists motivates them to build intricate masks to conceal their authentic selves from the world. However, this constant facade maintenance undermines genuine human connections and empathy, as narcissists prioritize their own image over the welfare of those close to them. It is essential to acknowledge and comprehend the dynamics of narcissistic behavior to break away from the cycle of manipulation and exploitation. Number 5. They are addicts, addiction-based personality patterns. The entire behavioral pattern of a narcissist is centered around addiction, stemming from an unquenchable desire for the highs they derive from social interactions and material acquisitions. Their relentless pursuit of validation and admiration drives them to seek various forms of gratification. Some become entangled in addictions to sex, others cling tightly to wealth, and some spiral into dependencies on substances like drugs and alcohol. Their very existence becomes reliant on external stimuli, making them more codependent than individuals typically identified as such. At the root of this dependency lies a profound fear of solitude and introspection. Incapable of facing the darkness within themselves, they desperately seek distractions to evade their inner turmoil. Emotionally, narcissists lack self-regulation, relying instead on external crutches to pacify their tumultuous inner landscape. Despite their facade of control, they remain utterly powerless over their own impulses and emotions. Outbursts of rage and aggression serve as stark reminders of their emotional immaturity, akin to a child trapped in an adult's body. Their lives become consumed by an incessant pursuit of gratification, perpetuating a cycle of addiction where they move from one source of stimulation to another in a relentless quest to fill the void within. This perpetual cycle of addiction dictates their every action, leaving little room for genuine self-awareness or personal growth. Rather than confronting their inner demons, narcissists bury themselves deeper in their addictive patterns, perpetuating a cycle of dependency and dissatisfaction. In summary, the carefully crafted facade of invincibility that narcissists present masks a significant vulnerability at their core. Despite projecting confidence and superiority outwardly, they are haunted by profound insecurity, compelling them to tirelessly pursue validation and admiration from others. Their inability to confront their own flaws and failures, coupled with their fear of embarrassment and shame, leaves them trapped in a never-ending cycle of denial and self-deception. This constant struggle to maintain their carefully curated image often comes at the expense of those closest to them, as they manipulate and objectify others in their quest for validation. In essence, the shortcomings observed in narcissists, such as their difficulty forming authentic relationships, relentless pursuit of perfection, and tendency towards manipulation and control, highlight the inherent vulnerability of human nature. Through recognizing and accepting these vulnerabilities, we can start to untangle the complexities of narcissism and cultivate a deeper sense of empathy and compassion for those affected by it. Before we conclude, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and share this video with others. In today's complex landscape, awareness is increasingly crucial. Thank you for joining me on this exploration, and until we meet again, stay informed and stay mindful.